available, and also my assistant Bo has very kindly created a really cool download for you. So alongside the replay of this call tonight for you guys to rewatch, you can download that too, and it's a really good workbook to work through as you're watching this to make some notes. I don't know about you guys, but I'm a big note taker, and having a good notepad or something to jot the ideas down so I can refer back to it is super helpful. So definitely take a look at that PDF, and it's coming to you in an email probably about half an hour after we finish. So I hope you enjoy. So the scissors to six figures masterclass. This is such a powerful masterclass because I can honestly say that knowing this has changed my life from like night and day, so much so I don't think people even recognize me anymore, to be honest. If I think of myself on the school run when my son first started 3 or 4 years ago, I looked, acted, had the energy of a completely different person than what I do now. And I truly believe that's because of the powerful tools that I'm teaching you guys today. So, we're going to be covering a little bit about myself and why you should be listening to me, why you should be taking my advice, the three-step proven method to unlocking the next level of your success, the clear game plan for scaling your business sustainably, because it's all very well scaling your business, but actually maintaining it and keeping on going is a whole different story. But also the common pitfalls for salon owners and independent stylists, client success stories, because the girls that have taken my training earlier this year are absolutely smashing it. I'm sure you'll recognize some of their faces and names when you go through this tonight. And super duper proud of them. They're all a really inspirational bunch of people. And there's also going to be your best next steps that you can take after this and an exclusive opportunity just for you guys. So let's get started. So I am Rosie. I don't know if anyone is into human design, but I am a manifesting generator. Fiance, a mum of two, a massive cat fan, and I live in Kent, which is about an hour away from London. And I help ambitious stylists escape the feast and famine cycle with a proven three-step method. For years and years, I constantly felt like I was in that feast and famine cycle, and it feels very peaceful and like you have a calm nervous system when you do escape that and have a much calmer and peaceful life. It's totally freeing. So I'm an expert in grey blending, client attraction and marketing, and scaling profitable businesses in the hairdressing industry. So within the last year, when I got my books back, I couldn't really believe it. But I've scaled the business now to a 250,000 business in the last year or so, and the students are now following in my footsteps as well, which is really, really cool. Very, very proud of them. So it all started a few years ago. I was a mobile hairdresser. Like everyone, I think that goes out on their own. We all think we can do it better than what our bosses can. So I went out on my own at quite a young age, and I had my own salon because being mobile, you spend a lot of your time being in the car, going from person to person, and more time listening to the radio than I was actually doing the hair. So I had my own salon very early on when I think I was 22 or 23. I then helped clients, obviously, that were mobile come to the salon look and feel amazing. I really loved and related to mums and helping them create a beautiful hair color that was low maintenance. And I think when people ask where the whole grey blending side of things has come from, I think it has evolved from that. So I hated the long hours and I struggled with the work-life balance. Very soon after I opened my salon, I had my son, like a year afterwards, which obviously life happens sometimes. And I really felt the guilt that I'm sure a lot of people on this call can feel if they're a working parent, of like the pull between not being enough or doing enough or feeling like you're enough at the salon and then work, and then also the guilt as well, not being enough for your family and the personal life. It felt like a real pull between both. And I just felt like I was in consistent hustle mode. There's a whole like feminine energy, masculine energy sort of thing. I really did feel like for years, and I'm still working on this now, that was very much in my masculine energy because I was on my own, I was a single parent, and it really was, there's no one else to rely on here. You got to make it work. And I think that burning motivation and ambition really did stem from there. But the struggle was real. And I don't know if other people can relate with that, with the work-life balance and trying to juggle it all. But today, fast forward, gosh, at least 7 years since that day, but 3 years since specializing in grey blending, we've had 250 grand worth of sales in the last year. We've got students globally, which is just incredible, and a hell of a lot more freedom than I used to have. I remember at the start of the summer holidays, a lot of mums met up and they were like, I don't know how I'm going to juggle the summer holidays. I feel really stressed about it. And I almost felt a little bit of guilt because I didn't have that problem anymore. I think when I first had a child at school, I was working normally and very much had to think of like, okay, where am I going to get the childcare from? How on earth am I going to fit all these clients in 6 weeks when there's no childcare? What am I going to do? But now, having the freedom of choice, I'm being able to be like, okay, I'm choosing to work during the summer holidays because I can, I don't have to. It's a whole different feeling and energy, and something I've had to work on personally because it comes from, I feel a bit guilty for it. But yeah, it's not because it's been out of luck. It very much is a conscious decision, a lot of hard work to get there. This way, perfect. So there definitely is a proven three-step process for creating a more abundant life whilst working less. I know that it's proven because obviously I have tested it out for a good few years now. And at the beginning of this year, even though I never wanted to step into education, I thought, right, I need to teach this, I need to get this out there because surely I'm not the only person in this position who is feeling this struggle as a working parent and wanting that freedom, but also wanting more abundance. And it's completely safe to want more as well. But it's proven because I knew I figured it out. And then I thought, right, I'm now in the place to teach other people. And they're able to replicate the same results, but a hell of a lot faster, which is awesome. So, what you need to know right now is that there is so many people that need your help. If I could show you my DMs and all the notifications, there's just so many people saying, do you know a grey blending expert in Ireland, in New Zealand, in this part of Australia that I've never heard of? There are so many people looking for this service and looking for someone that they can trust. They're looking for a long-term solution and they actually want to invest in an expert instead of just putting a plaster on the problem with another quick fix. And when you know their real pain points and what they're going through, it makes it so much easier to know what to say in social media. I think a lot of people struggle with knowing what to say. They know they should say or film something to put online, but they're like, I feel stuck, I don't know what to do. And that's something we're going to cover in this call this evening. So at the moment, you're absolutely not maximizing your potential. There is so much opportunity for you that you just don't even realize yet that will come to you. And it's time to realign and manifest your dreams. There's no more time for procrastinating. If you can imagine the place you're in this time next year, it'd be absolutely incredible. And you absolutely can earn well as a hairdresser. You don't have to be looked down upon or that's only a hairdresser. They can't be that smart. They can't be that wealthy. Actually, we can be 100%. So the first thing is, I feel like, to be completely honest, every Tom, Dick, and Harry is a blonde balayage expert. That's wonderful. I was one a long time ago, but there are so many out there and you're just not standing out. The problem is you're blending into a sea of hairdressers all looking, saying, doing the same thing. There's nothing that makes you, a client, think, oh, I'm going to go with that person, other than maybe convenience or it looks okay. As a result of this, you're working way too much at the moment and feeling burnt out because the only way to earn more money is to do more hours. You have to do like 5 days a week, really long, super dull, like 10-hour days, and it feels exhausting. And there definitely is another way of doing things where you don't have to do that. If you think outside of the box and have a look at what other industries are doing, they are not just selling their time for money, they are also selling the end result. So this confuses a lot of people because I remember one student trying to say that it was a package, and I was like, no, 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 it's not a package. Because when a client is buying a package, they're buying so many things or services for one set price, and they're still being commoditized. So you definitely don't want to look at it as a package. You want to look at it as a transformation because they are buying the end result. They're buying your brain and what you can do for them. So I would love to share with you a story. So this week I had a maintenance client in. Was it yesterday? It could have been yesterday, Wednesday. And she is an Asian lady. So if you saw her on my Instagram, that might kind of ring a bell. But she started her transformation last September. I think she invested around 6,000 or 6,500 for that. And I managed to do her transformation of 4 appointments. That was more than enough for what she needed. And then when it came to her maintenance, she ended up being an hour late. But because you're working with one client a day, you don't have that pressure of back-to-back clients thinking, oh no, that's going to ruin the rest of my day because that probably wasn't there anymore. So she turned up. We ended up doing maybe a thorough half head, three-quarter head worth of low lights, cut and blow dry, toner, that sort of thing. So within 3 hours, she was out. So I earned £1,000 that day for 3 hours work. And that's what could be possible for you once you attract these clients. You stand out on a crowd of hairdressers all doing the same thing, and you sell the end result and not your time and what you're actually doing and the service itself. I hope that makes sense, and I hope that's also a bit inspiration for you of what can be possible. So by doing this, you have that competitive edge against everyone else. And also, it's really worth thinking about the specific problem that you solve. So for me, for example, obviously it's grey blending, but for you, your passion could be something else. It could be wedding hair, could be extensions, could be anything. But you've really got to find a gap in the market and think about what your client is struggling with and the end result you can give them. If you're worried about it becoming saturated and becoming competitive, what I say to my existing students is that it's a hell of a long way between becoming as saturated as the blonding industry at the moment, and there are just so many thousands, hundreds of thousands of people out there looking for this service. So you really don't have to worry about it at all. By doing something different, you stand out, you attract the VIP clients that are just a dream to work with. I remember Tony came in, a student for a shadow day, and she was like, oh my God, your client is so nice. And I believe that the more a client invests, the easier they are to work with. They just don't give you any hassle, they don't question you. It's just lovely. It's a complete dream. You work less and you have more time for personal things, like going to, for me personally, reformer Pilates classes, and going to new class, reception class at primary school meetups in the park. And you feel more present and a simpler life. It feels like when you're a salon owner or you have a lot going on that you're spinning a lot of plates. But when you're working with less people on a more deeper level, it's less people to think about, it's less people to worry about, and it's much more fulfilling than the crazy back to back, busy, busy, busy environment that we're used to as hairdressers. So I'd love to share with you Carla. I don't know if anyone here has seen her on social media. She was one of our first students earlier this year. So she's self-employed and renting a chair. She's currently between her homes, but I think she has settled now. And when she first enrolled, I asked her, why is this the right thing for you? And she said that she already had done some grey blending, was dipping her toe into it, but she wasn't getting the results that she was seeing on social media. There was a missing piece of the puzzle, right? And she very much said that if she wasn't working, then she wasn't earning. She didn't want to keep doing the 5 hour days, doing really long hours, just to have an okay income, it's exhausting. So to discover a different way of doing things, to find a missing piece of the puzzle, to knowing what to say, she is now attracting the right clients. She's now charging over £6,000 for her grey blending transformations, and she has escaped the imposter syndrome that she was struggling with beforehand as a result of having the proven steps to follow, which is awesome. So she has done very, very well. And if you haven't already found her on Instagram, you should definitely follow her because she is a super inspirational person too. So the second thing you need to think about when you are looking for these high ticket dream clients is when you're currently not earning enough to better your own future and support your family. So you need to find a problem that's in demand and sell something that is high value for these people. I am not sure if anyone here follows someone called Alex Hormozy, I think his name is, and he's very good at marketing. And he put something up on his Instagram saying, to be rich, you need to solve rich people's problems. So you need to think about what these people who are time poor, who want to look good at work, but be very low maintenance, what problems are they kind of suffering with, and listen to what your clients are saying. So selling is just creating a win-win for both parties. I think a lot of the time when we're feeling burnt out is because the energetic transfer in energies hasn't been quite equal. We haven't been charging enough for the amount of effort that's gone into that person's hair, and we just feel completely drained as a result of it. So when you do charge more, you definitely do feel like you're being very fairly compensated, and you actually look forward to going to work, and you kind of like think, this is going to be a great day today because that energy exchange just feel right. So definitely do focus on the transformation and the benefits of what you're offering. Don't repeat what's included. Clients really don't care about what ingredient it has, if it has a toner or not, if you have Olaplex or not. They don't really know too much about that. And I think sometimes as hairdressers, it's really easy to forget that they don't know these things, and we think these things super easily. So when you're talking about anything behind the chair, whether it's your normal services or something different, hopefully, that you're aiming towards, talking about things on social media, make sure you talk about the end results and the benefits rather than a list of what's included. If you take one thing from this masterclass today, do that one thing. So as a result of doing this and selling the end result, finding these VIP clients and figuring out a problem that they are suffering with, you will have the ability to earn it 10 times more, have the financial abundance and the feeling of more than enough. You won't get to the end of the month and think, God, I just about kept the lights on again for another month. Right, another month, just hoping it will get better. You escape feeling that way, and instead you just have that. I kind of touched on at the beginning of the call, like a really calm nervous system, because you know that you have so much more abundance and profit coming in that there's always going to be more than enough. And I can't express how much of a good feeling that is. So this is Tony, the girl I touched on earlier in the call. So she has been a hair salon owner and in the industry for a fair while. When she had her son a few years ago, she wanted to shorten her hours, but she had loads and loads of clients. And she was actually, she won't mind me saying this, she was actually very resistant about getting rid of her existing clients. Because I believe when you niche in something, it's very difficult, but it's very important to purely focus on that one thing. You don't want to be a jack of all trades. You really do want to be good and known for one particular thing. Because I remember speaking to a client fee, and she said, when I was looking for you, I was looking for a grey hair expert. That's what they're looking for. If I was going for some surgery, I would look for a plastic surgeon, for example, who was really good at that one thing. I wouldn't want someone that was good at everything because these people want the best of the best, right? Especially if they're investing in so much. And fast forward 6 months, and she is now halving her client base by putting her prices up because she is welcoming so many new grow-blended clients in at like three and a bit grand. I think she's putting her prices up again at the beginning of next year. So once you start working in this way, it kind of feels unauthentic to work in any other way. Because when you have the freedom and the space to give your client whatever they need, when it comes to the services, the products, whatever, it's really hard to then go back to a normal client who books in for like a blonding package when they quarrel the price or when they quarrel having a toner or not, because you just think, oh, you just need it, just have it. So I think for her, she's kind of realized that, yes, I love working this way. It feels good. I trust it. I trust myself. I know what to do. I've proven the results. I can do this job. It works. And now she is welcoming only grow blended clients only. She's paid her investment back already, which is awesome. And I think she found it super valuable, realizing the technique difference in that when you add depth for low, like lived in blondes and low lights and balayages and stuff, it's very, very different to how you do it for grey blending. So I know she found that super valuable as well. Again, you can find her quite easily on social media, on Instagram, and I've really noticed recently that she has ramped up her presence on social media and she's getting inquiries now completely on her own, which is fantastic. Very, very proud. So, when you don't know what to say in social media, when you feel aligned with what you are doing, you know that one problem you're solving for that high ticket VIP person, it becomes really easy to know what to say because when you listen to them in their consultation, you listen to their language. I'm sure you have heard me use the word stripe on social media before, like the stripe of roots. That's not something that I would personally say. I would probably say the line of demarcation. But from a client's point of view, they always say the stripe, the badger stripe, the skunk stripe. So I use that word a lot in my marketing because that's what they hear. And clients also like it when I say they want to still identify as a brunette, because again, that hits a pain point. They don't want to be blonde, they want to feel like themselves. So listen to what your clients are saying in your consultations and when you're speaking to them about their problems, and use that language on social media. You need to know them inside out. I know my client completely inside out, and I remember years ago doing some training on a perfect client avatar, and I never really quite figured it out until probably about 2 years ago because I was too muddled. I was focused on helping anyone and everyone. And when I niched into this specific thing, really learned what that one person needed, and then got super clear, I know what that client avatar looks like. So if anyone else has heard trying to find that person they're speaking to before and has felt muddled, that is my best advice for you. Get super clear on who you're helping, what their problem is, the problem you're solving, the end result you're giving them, and you want to know their inside about what job they do, what lifestyle they have, where they shop. I found was super interesting. Because then also you know how to do your branding and it stems on from there, right? So these are the results of the girls in the academy at the moment. And there's a mixture of everyone from here. We have students both in the UK, Canada, and US, and Scotland now as well, which is awesome. We do a Fuck Yeah Friday, we call it, in the academy. We put all of our wins, and it's a really lovely thing to do to get a bit of like boost, a bit of recognition for how well everyone is doing. So, by using this framework, you absolutely can create a business that gives you the freedom and kind of rediscover your purpose again. You will have the tools to make your own money and feel in control of your future. And I think the most powerful thing I have found personally is that you don't have to rely on anyone. You could be powerful and abundant completely on your own, which is a really powerful place to be in. You can enjoy every day as the pressure of back-to-back clients has disappeared, and you'll be ahead of the game and feel completely confident in the next big thing in this industry. So, a quick recap of what we have discussed today and what to focus on and what not so much to focus on. So, it's really important if you want to step into the next journey and phase of your career to focus on one particular niche so you can stand out. You've got to follow a proven strategy and method to attract these people that are buying your proven method and course. And you've got to master the sales process to create win-wins for both. Don't focus on creating a bunch of different offers and offering too many things. Don't focus on your competition and what they're doing. You've got to try and work on yourself and your mindset and not listen to your limiting beliefs. There are so many fears around doing this sort of thing. I'm not good enough, my clients won't pay for this, and so on and so on. And obviously, I had these beliefs way back when, and I had to work it out and bust through them because your passion for wanting to better yourself and your life has got to be more powerful than all those fears. Otherwise, you'll be stuck forever, right? And you've really just not got to give a damn what anyone else thinks. I think I've kind of been always been that way a little bit because my mum said recently, no, you should really care what people think. I said, no, I really don't, because when you know that you're working within your integrity and you know you're giving your clients the best possible solution, the best possible products, the best possible end result, there's nothing more you can do for them. That's completely working within your integrity, right? It'd be working outside of your integrity if you weren't doing that. So I really do not care about what anyone else thinks anymore because I know within myself that I'm giving these clients the best possible service, and I think it's mad that more people aren't doing it. So you've really got to not care what other people think, whether that is your family, whether that's your friends, or whether there's other people in the industry. It's absolutely safe to do something different and kind of inspire people and be like, yeah, I do charge this much and this is why. So when you become a grey blending expert, you can create a business that gives you the freedom and purpose. You'll have the tools to make your own money and feel in control of your future. You can enjoy every day as the pressure's disappeared and you'll be ahead of the game. The very exciting news is that we are now enrolling in our next cohort, and you can be a grey blending expert by the end of this year. You've seen the power firsthand of this proven business model and how it can give you the tools to create the results you're looking for in your life. So it's time to get certified and just go and do it. So, these are some more testimonials from all of the girls. We have a really great group of people worldwide, as I touched on. They're very supportive, and I'm very proud of the community we have created. So, as a result of enrolling in the course, which is now called the Grey Blending Academy, you can completely open up what your future looks like and realize that it could be so amazing and different to what you thought it could have been. You'll have the tools and the proven system to rely on and to follow to have the opportunity to earn 10 times more, if not more. You can attract clients that are nicer and that are easier to work with. You can obviously earn more money, and I put take home in brackets because when it comes to anything in business, the most important thing is how much you actually retain, right? And how much you actually take home, not just what you bring in. And you can achieve your goals even faster. So Carla's had the biggest breakthrough, I think, for her is escaping the imposter syndrome, the recognition for the work that she's doing, and the kind of feeling of feeling really blessed and privileged for how she's helping these clients. As I touched on, she's now charging over £6,000 for her transformations, and she started this course in January. So included is 6-week training with a different module each week. So you'll have everything you need within this course and you'll have lifetime access. You'll have weekly calls with me, with Q&As on each module as well. And there'll be a bonus Q&A at the end of the course. So really it's like 7 weeks because sometimes a lot of the questions are answered as you go through the modules. So I found by having a call at the end, any new questions that come up can be answered then. We also have a really lovely Facebook community, so you'll be able to be a part of that. Also listen to the other girls who might be a few months and steps ahead of you to be kind of inspired about where they are right now and ask them for some support as well. So you'll get a certificate of completion and access to the directory. So on Instagram, when we have all of these DMs from all over the world saying, do you know an expert in New Zealand? Do you know someone in this state or town in America? Which I have no idea where it is. I can say, look at my directory, here are all of my students. So it's a great way to have leads, like warm leads already, which is great for both people, right? It's great for the person following an Instagram because they want to go to someone that they trust. And it's great for the student because they'll be like, yep, I'm on here, I'm on this list. So it's great for both people. So that's really, really powerful. We've also created a color checklist, so kind of like a shopping list of all the products to order if you want to go into this, if you want to try something different. A lot of students have looked into and tried the brand that I use, although all the color formulas, techniques are obviously universal. They just want to kind of copy and try the results that we achieve, and you get the reps through it details as well. We have a foolproof formula sheet because it's really good when you have a client in and you think, right, this is what their hair is like, this is the end result that I want. What tone is best for that person? And you can have a quick look at that sheet. So that's super duper helpful. I have it screenshotted on my phone, my favorites, and I refer back to that all the time. There's also the Grey Bedding Society, which is our Instagram page, and there's weekly tutorials on there of existing clients that I'm working with at the moment. So there's always requests for brunette people. We uploaded one this week. I felt like it was a really long video, but by the time I edited it, it must have been 12 minutes. That was super long for me. But it was a really good video and it really went into detail on why we're doing what we're doing and to how to maintain that person as a brunette because she had a darker skin tone, darker eyes. She was a dark autumn color analysis, so it was really important to keep her as a brunette. So all of the tutorials, if you're a visual learner, are on Instagram as well, which is super powerful and to look at. There's also the Profitable Business Program, which is a spreadsheet, which is super helpful for working out your costings. Because at the beginning, your first clients will be your existing clients, like case studies. So if you're thinking, fuck, my clients are not going to pay 6 grand for this, you don't have to worry. Your first clients will be your case studies and existing clients already, and obviously they have a discount for that, which will help you and support you through. But you will have a pricing spreadsheet to work out what those costings will be. And there's also, which is one of my new passions, I guess, in the last year, the color analysis education, because it's all very well creating a blended color, but you've also got to know what color to create, right? Like, what tone are you going to use to suit that person? Because what will suit a winter would not suit an autumn, like me. So that's super helpful having that knowledge and it's transferable. So even if you had your mum in for a colour and she wasn't grey yet, for example, you would be able to kind of know and identify what colour analysis she is and you'd be able to colour her hair accordingly. So they'll have the best hair colour possible and you had the power to do that. So that's really, really cool and something I'm very passionate about, as you can tell. So there's some more testimonials as well, again from Tony and from Helen. What has been really cool is that we do have like painful options for this where you save some money, but there's also some payment plans as well because we are very much looking for the right people rather than lots of people because we want to kind of protect what we have when we grow it. So a lot of people that do have the payment plan have paid it off already or early because they've been able to get these case studies in and then real clients and they're absolutely just skyrocketing and they've messaged us saying, hey, can I pay it off early? And we're like, sure, why not? So that's really, really cool. So there's one thing that I've learned, or a few things that I've learned that students have really needed that we have included as bonuses. So one of them for this particular offer that we're offering you as a result of this masterclass is a strategy session. So this is a one-on-one with me to work out a plan for your business and your brand to scale it to these 10, 20, 30K months. So a lot of people are in slightly different circumstances. There might be salon owners, there might be salon suite renters, chair renters, and it's kind of having a bit of a plan all alongside learning this kind of business model of how to implement that for you and what that could look like and what identifying what you need. So I find that having a one-to-one could be super helpful on giving you that guidance. So yeah, we're including that as a bonus, which is really special and not something we've done before. There's also the shadow day, which is really cool. You've probably seen recordings of these on Instagram. So this is when a student can come in and just hang out with me and my client for the day. They can hover, they can ask questions. Some of the students have passed up foils to me, and I'm like, guys, you don't have to do that. But they just really like to get involved and speak to the client and learn who they are helping and just really see what we're doing like live in real life. And as I touched on, Tony said, your clients are so nice. That absolute dream. I can't believe they're this nice and easy to work with. And I remember Emma saying that she didn't realize just quite how tiny my sections are for the foils. So a lot of people have learned and taken away different things. There is a student in America, I think from Arkansas or something like that, that's flying over for her shadow day. So it really does kind of prove how important and special these days are because it's being in the energy and the environment, super duper inspirational, and I think people get a lot from that. So we're definitely including it as a bonus for you guys. There's also the stress-free salon social system, which is a bit of a mouthful to say. So a lot of people struggle on social media. It's a lot of people's weaknesses, right? And I have spent years and spent thousands on learning how to get this down to a complete T, something you can rely on like a plan. So what we have created is a system for students to follow where they have the exact plan that I use to grow my business, both on social media and on email, which is super important. It has easy to follow tutorials, like video tutorials, to how to set up your email marketing and how to do your social media marketing. Because once you grow your Instagram, which can happen really quickly when you know exactly what to say, you will have hundreds of DMs to reply to. And you don't want to spend all your free time that you've now got on Instagram. So having the apps, the tools, the systems in place so you have a lot more time, but you can grow it still is really, really important. And all of the templates for you to copy, all of the hooks, all of the captions, all of the things to say, all of the words to say in the language, it's all of these things. So it's giving you guys the complete confidence to kind of master social media. This is a weakness for you and give you those tools. And that is such an amazing tool to have. So yeah, super excited about that one. So the total value of the whole course itself, plus all of these bonuses, comes in at over 15 grand. But the offer for you this month in August is just over 5,000. So it's the big, big saving. So a little bit more about me. I'm an experienced grey blending expert, creator of the Grey Blending Academy certification, built a £250,000 business by 30, helped other hairdressers charge 10 times more in just 3 months, and collaborated with some big names like Cloud9, Philip Kingsley, Current Body, and so many more. We also had a call with L'Oreal Education recently, which hasn't been updated on this slide just yet. And we've also written for Look Fantastic as well. So the investment when you pay in full is 5,497. You get access to the Grey Blending Academy live when we start in mid-September. You have an extra one-to-one strategy session with me, the VIP shadow day, and lifetime access to the private Facebook community and the Grey Blending Society. So you get that whatever option you choose to invest in. I want to make it as fair as possible. So if you do choose to go for a payment plan, because that's the best option for you right now, the down payment is just 1,500, and then you have 12 months of 425. But as I touched on before, existing students have paid that back early because they've made their investment back so quickly. This is a little picture of the directory at the moment. So we have a lot of people in the UK, a few in the US, and we are definitely looking for some more people in the other areas of the world, like in Europe, Ireland as well, Australia, and New Zealand. Those are the big, big places that come to us every single day. The demand for grey blending has never been higher. These are the kind of messages that we get. Again, I have no idea where this area in Northern Ireland is, no idea where these places are. And again, in Dubai as well, that comes up a lot too. So the applications are now open this weekend to enroll, which is very exciting. We have a few amazing people already on board. And again, we are opening our doors just for this weekend with this particular offer.